Guys, welcome back after our short advert break. Let us now focus on exchange rates. Okay, so the first question here, I said, Clive is planning on visiting his cousin in Dublin, that is in Ireland, after finishing his final grade 12 paper. He will be spending 3,500 rand whilst in Dublin. Convert this amount to euro if the exchange rate is 1 euro equals to 19 rand and 89 cents. Okay, so if you look at this, we can see that the euro is much stronger than our South African rand. Okay, so therefore I'll say, I'll take my 3,500 and I will divide that by the 19 rand 89 cents to see what that will be in terms of euros. Okay, so let's type in 3,500 divided by 19.89. So that will give us, remember this is now in euros, it says convert this amount to euro. So it's 175, and I'll round it off again to 2 decimal places, 97 euros. Okay, are we fine with that? Took my South African rand, I divided by the 1989. Right, question number 2. Amber's uncle gave her 1,200 US dollars, American dollars, as a birthday present. Convert this 1,200 US dollars to rand. Use the exchange rate 1 US dollar equals 18 rand and 7 cents. Okay, so I would like you to ask yourself this: when you come with this amount to South Africa, will it be worth more or worth less? As we can see, the US dollar is much stronger, 18 times. So therefore, I will multiply in this case, right? And I want you, when we do this, to use your common sense and think in terms of real life. So therefore, I'll take the 1,200 US dollars and I multiply by the exchange rate here of 1807. Okay, to see how much that will be worth in South African rand. So 1,200 multiplied by 1807, that will give us an amount of, remember it is now, sorry, not US dollar, but South African rand. So that becomes 21,684 rand. Quite a lucky girl, Amber, to get 21,684 rand as a birthday present. Guys, I hope we are still fine so far. Let us now move on to question number 3. It says, describe the relationship between the rand and Japanese yen. So we are looking at the rand and Japanese yen. If the exchange rate is 1 ZAR, South African rand, equals to 731 Japanese yen. Now if you look carefully, you'll see, in this case, the South African rand is stronger, right? It's worth more than the Japanese yen. So in this case, we can say then that the South African rand, can I put it like that, right, is stronger, worth more, right, is stronger than our Japanese yen. Guys, are we clear on that? So that is the relationship. We can see that the South African rand is stronger than the Japanese yen. But you can also say that the Japanese yen is weaker than the South African rand. That will also be correct, right? Okay, let's look at our next question. Question number 4. Describe the relationship. Again, we have to describe, write in words, between the rand and the pound. If the exchange rate is 1 pound equals 22 rand and 45 cents. In this case, we can see, just by looking at the exchange rate there, that the pound is stronger, right, than the South African rand. So therefore, I'll indicate that in this case, the pound is stronger, worth more, right, stronger than the South African rand. Okay, remember, opposite is also true. So if you indicate that South African rand is weaker than the pound, that will still be correct. Let's look at our next question. Question number 5. It says, in South Africa, a pair of standard earphones cost 120 rand in 2021 and 150 rand in 2022. In Manchester, England, a standard pair of earphones cost £9.5 in 2022. So 5.1, it says discuss the change in buying power of the rand. So the buying power of the rand from 2021 to 2022. So guys, if you look at this, 2021, a pair of earphones cost 120 rand. Then a year later, it now costs 150 rand. Right? We can see there was an increase in the price. So what happened now? So we can say that the buying power, right? So the buying power of the rand got less, right? It decreased, if you can put it that way. It got less or it decreased. Okay, are we fine? I'll be looking now at question 5.2. Compare the buying powers of the rand and the pound in 2022. Use the exchange rate 1 pound equals 22 rand 45 cents. So we are only looking at the year 2022. Okay, so if you look at this, we are saying in Manchester, England, a standard pair of earphones cost $9.50 in 2022. So I want to see what's the equivalent in South African rand. So therefore, I'll take the 9.5 pound and I'll multiply that by 22 rand and 45 cents. Okay, so 9.5 multiplied by 22.45. So that will give me an amount of 213 rand and 28 cents. So what are we saying? For a standard pair of earphones in South Africa, in 2022, we've paid 150, and then that 150 now is equivalent in England, right, Manchester, of 213 rand and 28 cents. So looking at this, we can actually see that the buying power of the pound is not that good. We agree. Because for the same item, can we see, we are paying less. Guys, are you following? So looking at this, while it was 100, even though, and I want you to take note, even though the exchange rate is indicating that the pound is stronger than the South African rand, the buying power of the pound is less, because England, we can basically say, is more expensive. All right, guys, I hope that's clear to all of you. Let's look at our last question here, number 6. It says Nandipa is planning on working as an au pair in 2024. She still needs to decide which of the two offers to accept, right? Study the table below and answer the questions that follow. So here we have the table, right? There's your au pair salary in 2 countries. Remember, that's the 2 offers that we are referring to. It can either be in Ireland or in the United States of America. So in Ireland, she'll get paid 500 euros per month, and there's the exchange rate currently, right? Or for that time. Then the US dollars will be 165 US dollars per week. So note the difference. One is per month, one is per week. And again, indicated there is the exchange rate. So question 6.1. Determine by showing all calculations which country will pay Nandipa the best wage in rand per week. And then I gave a little note here that indicates for 1 month we're going to work with 4 weeks. Okay, so let's quickly break this up. I'll start with Ireland. So if you look at Ireland, Ireland is offering this monthly salary. But now we want to compare the two in terms of weeks. So therefore I'll take the 500 euros. And I'll first of all divide that by 4 to see what it will cost or what the payment will be on a weekly basis. So 500 divided by 4, that will give us 125 euros per week. Guys, but important, we want to know what is the best option in rand. So therefore, I will still go and I say, okay, the 125 euros per week, multiply, now look at the exchange rate, right, between South African rand and the euro, multiply by 19.89. So what will that give us? Multiply by 19.89. So that will give us an amount of 2,486 rand and 25 cents. So this is our first option if Nandipa decides to go to Ireland. Now let's look at the US option, right? So the USA, looking at this, we can see it's already a weekly wage. So therefore, I'll take my 100, and let me indicate the unit. It's American dollar, 165 US dollars, multiply, remember I'm now converting to South African rand, multiply by the exchange rate of 1807. So when I do this, I should get the amount in South African rand. So 165 multiplied by 1807, that will give us an amount of 2,981 rand and 55 cents. So guys, when we look at this, I'm sure you'll agree with me that USA will definitely give her the best wage per week. Are we clear? Simply because 2,981 rand 55 cents is more than 2,486 rand and 25 cents. Okay, just one last question. And I said here at 6.2, Nandipa would like to import a handbag from one of these two countries. Which country would it be best to import from? Give a reason for your answer. Now guys, when we look at the exchange rate here, right, we can see that the US dollar is weaker, right, than our euro. So meaning Nandipa should rather import from USA because she will pay less. So the answer here, we'll say she must import from the USA because based on our exchange rate, the US dollar, right, is weaker than the euro, right? Meaning that therefore Nandipa will pay less when she buys her handbag, right? She will pay less if she chooses this option. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Please work every day, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.